Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back. Intro music. So yeah, I'm back. I disappeared for a very long time, and the main reason for me disappearing for a very long time is because I used to edit on a software that I didn't pay for and I had a hack for it, but the company worked out the hack and I had to stop using it and it updated and it didn't work. So I'm back and I have Premiere Pro now, and you know why? Because I have a new laptop, so I can actually edit on it and it's great. So now I can actually post again. So I'm back. And my first video of nearly of the year, actually, I think. No, my first video is going back on my channel is how my life has been in lockdown, isolation, shielding, all the different terminology that comes with it. So, as usual, I never plan these things properly in a proper structure because I don't learn and I don't have brain cells, as we know. So yeah, basically also I haven't filmed in a long time, so if I went really awkward, that's why I'm really slouched. So yeah, what I'm going to talk about is basically my experience with shielding and lockdown and the world as it is. I am wearing my pyjamas that wasn't meant to be in shot, but it's in shot. I have dinosaur earrings in. It's great. So yeah, I'm going to basically structure it loosely like this. I'm just going to basically give a basic overview of how, like, what's been happening, how we've been dealing with it, like what we've been doing as a family, as shielders, and then I'm going to talk about the positives as well, because I mean it would just be a very, very depressing video if I talked about all the sad stuff. But also, of course, I am going to include the sad stuff, the uncensored version of how my life has been going, because it's kind of like a life update as well, because I've been off the channel for like 6 months. Not that I have like 1,000 subscribers, but yeah. So it's basically kind of to just put it out there, like the truths of it, because I want to talk about like how chronic illness people, it's not really how they're meant to be described, how like we actually feel, and this is my personal experience, but just kind of like a little advocating thing, spreading awareness, and just kind of, yeah, putting it out there uncensored, like how it is, the official version. So, part one, what we've been doing. Oh my god, I don't want it to be a really, really, really long video, and I always say this, so I'm going to get through it. I'm not going to go massively into detail about it, but basically what happened. So let me just give you a little life story of how my life has been going from March to now. The last day that I was having a normal life, and I used to go to work and I used to go to college, and people who know me, people who know my routine, people who've been watching me, people who like know me basically know that I used to have 3 days at college, pretty much 3 days at work, and I'd always have 1 day off work because I needed it to like rest and to do college work, so I'd pretty much be busy 6 days a week, every single week, apart from if I had a holiday or whatever. So yeah, that's what I went from. On March the 13th, which was ironically a Friday the 13th, well, was my last day at work. I basically said to my manager, because coronavirus was just kind of getting a bit crazy, we weren't in lockdown yet, but I was like, I don't feel safe anymore like coming to work, and that was that. I was allowed to basically go home and not do my shifts the next day. My last day at college was Thursday the 12th of March. I did think that I was coming back next week. I didn't really, when I left, I didn't really think that I wasn't coming back for like the next 6 months. So yeah, I got home and I basically said to my family, like, I'm not going back to work now. The next day my mum did go out to the shops, but pretty much on the Sunday, like, none of us did anything, I don't think. We all stayed at home, and then it was probably the Monday the college was still open, I stayed at home. As of Tuesday it was being cleaned, Wednesday it closed, and I'm pretty sure that week was when lockdown was announced. It took about 2 weeks actually until my shielding letter came through the post. I don't know why it was so late. My sister got a text and a letter way before me, and I was like, okay. But yeah, so basically March the 22nd, 23rd, my shielding letter arrived. It was basically, obviously, you know, stay inside, don't meet out with anyone, don't go anywhere. We got a priority slot for Sainsbury's deliveries. We have, my mum's friend has been helping us out getting shopping since basically March. We stan. So yeah, that's what's been happening. As for shielding ending, obviously in August, restrictions lifting, I don't trust the government. I'm not going to rant about whatever the government on this video, because this is not what this video is for. That would probably be about 5 hours long and there'd be no point, because what's the point? Anyway, yeah, I don't, like, nothing had really changed. Yes, the cases were going down, but nothing had really changed, so we weren't about to like start going shopping every day, going out, going for meals, etc. Because that's like, I'm not, like, anyone who's shielding, everyone has different conditions, everyone knows their body differently, but personally for us, we just didn't feel safe doing it, and we stayed shielding basically. So we're still shielding now. Personally, my medical conditions, how COVID could like affect me, that wasn't an English sentence. The medical conditions I have, which mean that I'm vulnerable to COVID, are I have cystinosis, which no one actually knows how COVID is going to affect it. Is it going to affect it worse? Are we more susceptible? We don't know, so that's like an unknown thing, but it's not exactly great, so that's one reason. I had a kidney transplant, so I'm on anti-rejection drugs, which means my immune system isn't very good. I'm vulnerable to anything, so obviously I'm more likely to catch COVID. My immune system isn't completely terrible, like I have experienced times when my friends have been ill and I've not, but still, like, it's just obvious, like, you know, it's dangerous, it's an extra risk. So yeah, there's that. Also, I'm very prone to sepsis because in 2017 I pretty much started to get sepsis, and a few times after that now, if I get like quite a serious like an infection or something, whether it be like a sickness bug, whatever, like my body will just kind of start going into the like stages of sepsis, like the really high temperature goes crazy, like I've had my legs like kind of start to go purple before, and obviously coronavirus like is a serious infection and I'll probably get sepsis as well. So those are the reasons why I'm still shielding, why I can't go out, etc., why I'm vulnerable to COVID. So yeah, I just didn't feel safe, and obviously now we're getting another spike, so I really don't feel safe going out. And also, the unfortunate thing, if I did have close friends that live by me and family, I would social distance with them, but I don't. So that's another reason why I haven't met with them. I'm not just like completely refusing to see anyone, I just don't have anyone to see. So yeah, like some of the people that are closest to me, shout out to Marianne, live in France. Can't just hop on a plane and social distance with her. So yeah, that's why I haven't met with anyone. Also my family, unfortunately, like all my family live like about 2 hours away at least, so it's not worth going to see them like with that amount of journey, or them coming to see us to just like sit in the garden for like an hour. There's just no point. So yeah, those are the reasons why. So yeah, we're still shielding. I managed to get a hospital letter to go to the college just so that I need to stay at home. I'm doing all my work from home, and that's that. So that's our situation basically, and I just want to talk about the positives of lockdown, the positives of being isolated, because it's not all just doom and gloom. Ladies, gentle beings and non-binary power. But yeah, I want to talk about the positives and just talk about some of the stuff that we did that was really nice and I enjoyed, because I don't want to just spread sadness. And then I'm going to talk about the negatives and the true like feelings that I've been having and just how it's been affecting me. Basically, some of the positives, obviously when it was around March time, everyone was in a lockdown apart from the people that broke the rules, so we were all kind of going through the same thing. I don't really want to talk about like too much related to like the politicsy stuff, because I just, when I wrote focus it, bring it back to us, so I have to talk about that. So yeah, some of the really good things, like I started talking to certain friends that I haven't really spoken to before. We've become a lot closer, like doing video calls and stuff, having Zoom, having Skype to talk to family and stuff. It's just nice, and it brought us together, like that kind of thing. That was nice, and I'm really glad that I've come closer to certain people in my life, so that's a good thing. Thank you, lockdown. Obviously not thanking COVID, because COVID sucks. And also, I think one of my favourite times maybe so far in like shielding, my mum's birthday was really cool. We got a afternoon tea thing delivered to the house, a cake delivered to the house. We were just like having a chill day, like dressing up nice. Because sometimes like just putting a bit of makeup on and even just taking some selfies, like it just kind of lifts you up a little bit, gives you like a positive vibe, like that kind of thing. That's nice. Connecting with people on Instagram as well. Like recently I've been I want to become like more of an advocate for chronic illness, because when I was younger, this isn't a chronic illness based video, as in that's the subject, but I will do one like that. I didn't really know what it meant. Like I didn't really see myself as someone with chronic illness. Like I just wasn't really educated on that kind of stuff, even though I have like many illnesses. I've been like kind of following more people on Instagram with that, like, getting into that side of it, like using like their positive tips and stuff in my life and talking to them, and that's been really good. So that's been a good thing too. And obviously I'm really glad obviously that I'm safe. Like I'm glad that I'm with my family, I'm glad they could work from home. I didn't even mention that in the basics of how we've been doing. But yeah, my parents are both working from home. Like I'm really glad that my job were really supportive. My college like emailing me, like being like, hey, saying we miss you, and like all that support, like that's really good and it makes me happy. So those are the positive things. I don't know if that wasn't really like a lot, but like I said, I don't want to make this video massive. But yeah, now I'm going to talk about the doom and gloom of the life. Now I want to get into kind of like how it's affected me negatively, because like I said, I've had positive times, like going for walks, managing to go to the beach for the first time. That was one of the best times ever. Like I felt so happy. It was so nice to actually be out of the house like properly for the first time in 5 months. Like that feeling of just like being free and like in the sea. That was a gratin inside joke to the peeps that get it. If you're watching this video, peace. Yeah, that was really one of my favourite times. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, so into the kind of, you know, negative is life. You can't just have positive all the time. It's true. So basically, yeah, I've been shielded, isolated for 6 months, and it's very, it kind of just cuts you off. Like seeing other people, when people were kind of going back to normal, seeing people doing that, it's just kind of sad. And like for me, I don't mean sad as in like, you know, like, wow, you're sad. But for me, yeah, like seeing people going out and doing stuff, and I'm kind of just stuck here. It's like I'm watching the world from like a little bubble, and I'm like, hello. And everyone's obviously like, because I go on Twitter a lot, like I speak to my friends through WhatsApp, etc. But because everyone's going back to college, going back to uni, going back to work, not many people are online. And I'm kind of sitting there like, cool. So it is very isolating, and like I feel like very lonely at times, like, but I'm really glad that I have got the support network that I have, and the people that message me and are there for me, and that makes me heart eyes emoji. But yeah, that's just been kind of a negative aspect of it. My mental health has not been good. Like, I mean, it's never been great, but it was doing quite good. Like at the beginning of the year, like I was at college, I was like, you know, like I was doing stuff, like I was making new friends, like meeting up with people, doing new stuff, going shopping with them, all that little stuff that you kind of even take for granted. It's just like gone. Like I've gone from being busy 6 days a week, seeing people like every day, like being kind of socially exhausted, to the opposite end of the spectrum where I don't have anything to do. I mean, I have a few things to do obviously, but nothing and no one to see and nowhere to go really, and I'm like, help. And as some people know, as some people don't know, if you watch my channel, you know that I was diagnosed autistic in 2019, and for someone who is autistic, it is great to have a routine. Like, I like my little routine. Like, I really like going to the bus stop, and I don't really like getting on the bus, but it's part of the routine. I know what I'm doing, I know the times that I'm doing it, and I know like how my week is structured. I know how my week is structured, but now I don't have any structure either. And like the whole thing is just causing like an intense kind of burnout-y type life, and it's not good. Like I have a routine-ish, but it's just no structure for me, and my brain is like, help, I need normality. And I mean, everyone needs a little bit of social interaction. And I have my family, like I said, and I'm really grateful that I live here like with them, but sometimes, yeah, I want to speak to my friends and people my age, and like I don't have that, and I'm like, I need to see people. But yeah, that is another really hard aspect of it. And obviously like the chronic illness part of it, well, yeah, we like, in general, it can ruin your mental health, and like I was doing alright, like yeah, as I said, but now it's just not going so great. It's just a struggle. And also I did somehow manage to get a viral infection thing, so that I was dealing with that a little while ago. like I'm feeling really sick quite a lot, like achy because I'm kind of sat on my bed and the chair's not comfortable, and it's all like, just all these kind of little things, like being stuck at home that you don't really, probably wouldn't even think about. Like you'd probably, I don't know, say you were like a little stranger, we got Captain America here, he's like, oh look, there's someone who's shielding, they're stuck in the house, that sucks. But you don't really think about like all of the different aspects of it, like I said, like the aches and pains of being stuck in uncomfortable chairs all day, like the aches and pains from being stressed and tense, like my muscles are so tense, and grinding my teeth at night, feeling sick and like anxious, and like also like not even related to me, like I'm a very sensitive person, I'm very empathetic, I get really worried about my friends, like if my friends are sad, then I'm sad. Like that's just how I am, like a really highly empathetic person, and it's like I can kind of feel their emotions when they feel them, kind of thing, if we're like close friends. So like the amount of times like I'm worried about them getting COVID, like my family getting COVID, at the moment like I've got kind of more of like a direct contact with my friends, like we talk every day, and I'm just like so worried because they're going out, they're doing uni, whatever. I'm like, yeah, like I'm worried about them, like obviously I'm worried about myself and everything as well, but there's all that on top of it, and it's just like a lot of stress, anxiety, like depression feelings, all of the mental health triangle, like yeah, just worry about it. And that's like a big thing, like worrying about your friends, like you don't want them to get like coronavirus, you don't want them to suffer like that. But obviously a lot of my friends mostly are healthy, so I'm like, fingers crossed everyone's gonna be okay. But yeah, it's a hard time for everybody, and that kind of affects like me in a different way, like the empathy thing, and like I feel sorry for people as well, and there's all like, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that adds all together. So yeah, overall this is definitely like, not even to be dramatic, but the worst year of my life personally. Like for our family, like we've had really bad times, obviously, like medical stuff, but this personally is my worst year. Like yeah, it's been 6 months, still here, in the house, bored in the house, and I mean, if you think positively, like I'm not great at doing that at the best times sometimes, but if I'm thinking positively, there could be a vaccine late this year, and if there's a vaccine late this year, then I'll be able to go out again, like take precautions, you know, wash my hands a lot obviously still, and slowly, hopefully, if the cases decline, I can start getting back to my normal life, doing stuff properly and going to see people I miss, and yeah, that'll be just really, really good, and I really hope that. But overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you an insight into how certain people are feeling right now. So like if you know a shielding person in your life, just check up on them. It's just nice to hear from people. Like even if you don't think they're not doing bad, they might just be doing bad, but sugarcoating it a little bit, because it's also very, like, you just feel bad if you're like for kind of complaining all the time, but you want to complain all the time because everything just sucks. And then sometimes people just don't listen, and then you're like, ugh, which has happened. But like I said, my little support group of people who are like really great in my life have been really great, so that's why they're really great. Yeah, thank you to those people, you know who you are, and yeah, I hope that helped. Like I hope it gave insight. I mean, it wasn't like a massively informative video, but basically the things that you can get out of this video, I'm not having a great time, but I'm trying my best, and I'm still working on my college work. I'm not letting it like stop me from trying to get my qualification, so that's good. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you want me to do a video on any of the specific topics I mentioned in this video, I am going to do some of them anyway, but subscribe for more videos like this. You can go look through my videos which are on my channel. I've done a few. There's fandom related videos to like different mental health stuff, different medical stuff, or you can just ask any questions in the comments. And hopefully everyone is okay, and I wish everyone well. I hope everyone is safe and not breaking restrictions. And yeah, I will be back soon because I can now edit.